What doesn't kill you makes you
stronger.
Girl,
I can't sing, man. I can't sing. I don't know why you put me on the spot like that. Are you thinking about these things? I also think when it comes to businesses, people either look at it in one of two ways. Obviously, a lot of businesses that are started by diaspora, they either undercut their pay, they don't pay them fair wages, or they they treat people really badly.
Mm-hmm.
But it is to say, it is not wrong, personally, I believe, it is not wrong for a diaspora to come and start a business here if they ethically move it about it. If they move ethically about it, there is not wrong for a diaspora to come start a business here. Because who's to say that business they started, they can leave it for 10 years. Who's to say a Ghanaian is going to start that? And who's going to do it in the same way? Come on, girly. They've been living here just because this person came. They were going to start. They were going to start it.
I don't think that's the case.
I think it is the case.
I don't think
I definitely think that is the case. There's so many things that
because
people are gonna call me out, but okay, let me say it plain.
Mm-hmm.
There is so many ways that I think when as Ghanaians, like, you can take for granted and you can like maybe be slow about, like, maybe that person is starting their business, right? Or like, okay, two hairdressers, right? One is being slower. They're like, oh, I have my hairdressing thing, but I'm being slow about it. Someone from the diaspora can come, and yes, they have more resources. Let's say they're both affluent. They have the same amount of money. The person from the diaspora is going to come and they're going to be like, bam, 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 bam. Regardless of the blockade, they're like literally like stomping through it. Maybe it's like not the most ethical thing to do, but I think that sometimes the work ethic is different. Let's be honestly for real. The work, I will personally
agree
say that.
because I think this is comparison to how things work in the global north.
We
live in a post-colonial society where this boom, 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 boom you're talking about is capitalism on crack. And that is not entrenched, I think, in African DNA, to be very frank with you. And so I think the comparison of like, oh, a diaspora will come and boom, 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 boom. By all means, like, if we're talking about this, living in this capitalistic society, well, yeah, by all means, then, you know, you win, or like they will progress in that way. But to me, the reason why a Ghanaian will lose out is just because the having to adjust to that Western way of life, which is what is happening in Ghana right now, this westernization of our culture, is the reason why when you make that comparison, the local Ghanaian will likely lose out. And that's just one thing. To your point, even of like, let's say an affluent Ghanaian, the statistics of that, Ghana is about 30 million people. Half of this country is in the rural areas. You're talking about 50% of Ghanaians are in the agricultural field. These are smallholder farms who don't have the access, don't have the money. If you put on average, the average diasporan, like if you take the collective, the average diasporan versus the average Ghanaian, you're talking about a wealth disparity that is eons long. So
Ghana
even like
is an
comparing
oligarchy,
the
right?
affluent Ghanaian is comparing the 1%
100%.
to like the 20-30%. You know what I mean?
100%. Ghana is definitely an oligarchy. Like the people who have money, have resources, have access, very little compared to the rest of us. I think even if it's not entrenched in the way we are, we can't ignore that is what is happening, right? So we can't ignore that that's how the system works at this point, right? And it's been working like that for a long time. You can't say that someone who has made like their money over others, they took that capitalistic mindset regardless of colonialism or what. I think sometimes, as much as we like to understand our history, and we should understand our history, and we should pay homage to it. We have to face in realities of like, this is the way things are happening, and we can be the change. You either get with the program or you don't. You choose which way you want to go about that. But it's to say, when it comes to like starting a business here, we're living in a place where there is capitalist to start a business. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if we're being real, if it's the affluent person who's lived in Ghana, knowing that Ghana is like a resource and people-led place where it's like, it's about who you know, who you have connections with, and the diaspora person has come, they don't have connections, they don't have resources. Like, there is advantages and disadvantages on both sides. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm saying that because that diaspora person has lived in like such a capitalist place, their work ethic to like knock the doors down is a different work ethic to the Ghanaian person who would probably be like, do you know what, call Uncle Sam or call Uncle somebody, he'll sort it out, and wait for that time. It's a bad comparison, but it's to say that there are ethical ways of moving through Ghana, and the why definitely does have to be ethical. I think we're doing another episode on this actually. Of
yeah,
like,
the money.
We'll actually get into it because we have a lot to say about this.
Clearly.
Like a lot to say about this. But it's to say the why of moving here is like, you have to be, your favorite word, cognizant. You have to be cognizant of why you're moving here. If you are moving here ethically, wanting to be like learn and assimilate, or you're moving here and you're going to put your person on it. Do you get what I mean? Do you want to
put your person?
Do you want to come here and fit into the surroundings around you? Or do you want to come here and be the same person and want your surroundings to fit around you?
I see.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, the latter is what we will say, don't come.
Don't come, right? Because like, there's so many people who come here and they're like, oh yeah, I want to start a business. And like, they're like, oh, I have this like crazy new idea. And I'm just like, babe, do your research. Someone's already done it. It doesn't work. Or babe, do your research. There's like other ways to go about the same thing you want to do.
And it's also like, I'm sorry, but my more extremist views are, and perhaps there's a bit of delineation for diasporans, especially those who are, let's say, first generation diaspora, where it's like your parents grew up here or whatever, and you moved later on in life. You know what I mean? But I just I feel very adamant about the fact that you have access to somewhere else. Most people here don't. And that somewhere else that you have access to, the currency is much, not a bit, much strong. It actually directs the going-ons in this country. You know what I mean? Like we say, our economy is even dollarized. Like we are at the mercy of these other currencies. And so if you are someone who is coming here from abroad, diaspora and foreigner, and you want to start something or you want to integrate, like, I can't even tell you how much work you need to do so in a conscious manner, especially because Ghana is a very historically exploited Africa. The continent of Africa 100%. Is one of the most exploited continents on earth, if not the most. You know what I mean? So you really have to be super, super cognizant. And I mean, obviously we want this podcast to be where we're offering resources and things of that nature. For me, really wanting to create that access, and I know for you as well, to, you know, Ghanaians who are here, been here, local businesses, and creating that directory, creating those resources for people to be put on and things of that nature. And then also to let the diasporans and foreigners know, like, honestly, Ghana is a lovely, lovely, wonderful, friendly place. People talk about it all the time. Like, everyone's so friendly here, and it's true. Yeah. But recognizing that and doing your damn best not to usurp the affairs or the things of people going on
what
here.
I will add to that, as a person coming from the diaspora, is I think definitely Ghana's dollarized, and like obviously people are like earn less here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have to actually face the realities that like probably 90% of diaspora who are living abroad,
mm-hmm.
their parents aren't rich.
Mm-hmm.
Their parents are not like living it large. Like their mom is still probably working a night shift. Their dad is like probably still not in retirement and they're working hard.
Very true.
We see our parents coming from where they came from, our home, going to somebody else's land and still struggling, which in turn means that we're still struggling as their children. And I think we repatriate back home because we're like, you went there, it didn't work. So we're going to come here and it will work, and we're going to try and make it work, and we're going to do our hardest. So we're not coming with like, yes, if we earn in pounds or if you have a job in pounds, you're definitely living a very, very comfortable life compared to most. But it's not to say those who grow up in those circumstances, which is a majority of us, we're not coming here to being like, oh, we're living it large and spending large. And there should be a space for understanding and empathizing. And I think a space for teaching each other different things. Because as much as I hate the West and I'm not an advocate for them in like any way, I think there are some things you learn in terms of survival as a first generation immigrant that are essential for when it comes to surviving here and give you a different mindset. Do you get what I mean? Because like you've literally had to be living almost in a survival state your whole life. Your parents have had to be. Whereas like here, yes, you have your family and stuff like that, and you live in your homeland, right? You're not alienated in some ways. So I hear it. I hear what you're trying to say, but there has to be room for growth in both sides.
No, I do agree with that. I like the way you've packaged that. It was real.
Thanks, Brian.
Come on,
love
man.
that.
Yeah. No, I do, because whilst I do hold that perspective, I am cognizant like of the fact that we live in a global society, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And there does have to be, there's a different way.
There's different ways to do things.
The only way to figure that out is to dialogue in the way that we're doing right now, and to hold space, Cynthia, for each other to have those conversations. For me, the split, if we're doing a percentage, I'll say the split should be 70-30, because I still think that local voice needs to be uplifted. And honestly, when I say local voice, I don't even mean me, because I exist within that privileged class, and I think we need to shut the fuck up and allow for...
I think it's... Let's do a collabo.
Right.
Yeah. I think it should be a collaboration. I think you should come in and you want to do something. Let's see in the industry who has the expertise, who are you employing, who are you giving positions of power, who are you training, right? Who are like the wages you're giving them, is it fair, is it not? Exactly. That all comes with its own thing and its own issues or whatever. But I do feel that like there is a space for everyone if like we choose to be like moral about it, and we choose to think about it and think about it deeply, right? And so there's spaces where people come in and it's not a white savior mentality, definitely not that, but they come in seeking to help a section of Ghanaians, right? Without really finding out what the needs are of the people they're trying to help. Exactly. And that's problematic. Yeah. Or like, there's several versions I can name of it, but like, I think, the why is really important. Yeah.
The why and the what, the who, the what, the where, the why, the when, and sometimes the how.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it sometimes why, or who, what, when,
why,
and sometimes how?
Yeah.
Okay.
How is, so let's talk about the how, actually.
We kind of have. Oh no, we've done the why and the what, and then the how.
Let's talk about the how.
The how.
So when I moved here, I was kind of rogue. So like I said, I literally moved. I had my auntie's place to stay that I knew I was going to stay for a month. I didn't know how it worked to find a place to live. I didn't know like where I wanted to live. Right. where was closed and I felt comfortable. Because I'd been here within like, the 14 years I wasn't living. It was more than 14 years. Like 15 years or something that I hadn't been living here. I still like wasn't too familiar in the month that I was here that like, okay, maybe I want to live in Osu. How expensive is that? Maybe I want to live in Cantonment. How expensive is that?
Yeah.
Or am I going to feel more comfortable living in like Dansoman or what? Would you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I came here, luckily I'd met a friend who lived here and they took me around the different areas and they were like, okay, this is this. Mm-hmm. But not everyone has that.
Yeah.
So how
Sankasa Podcast. No, Sankasa. Yeah. Your one-stop shop for everything you need to know the who's, what's, when's, why's, how's of living in Ghana, whether you are from here, born and bred, never left, from here, born and bred, left and came back, or born and bred, Charlie, you get me.
Born left bread.
Born left bread.
Yeah. No, born left bread came. I don't know. Yeah, you get the gist. You get the gist.
Yes. Oh yeah, another how is like where to eat.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something. I think people are more cognizant of it now because you'll see on Instagram like, oh, I went to Thailand and I got food poisoning and all of that. So people are slightly more cognizant now because it is a thing that happens. But yeah, when you come to Ghana, you need to be a little careful. If you're going to eat from the roadside, like, be careful, build up your immunity, especially if you haven't lived here long, then you have to be a bit more careful. I would say meat,
is gonna
salad.
Be your best friend.
That's a medicine, yeah.
Imodium.
I'm not a big medicine girly.
Imodium is like your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my brother, when he first came, he hadn't been here in 10 years. And I think everything how like things were washed and stuff like that. He got a lot of like stomach bugs. So it might be your best friend. You should actually
do we sell that in Ghana? Do we sell Imodium?
Imodium?
We do.
Yeah, girl.
I'm not a medicine girl.
Yeah, we have Imodium. Okay. That's our thing. Well, it's not a thing. I don't know who makes it, but like
I mean, the one I know is ORS. I don't know if that's like for yours.
No, ORS is like for giving you like energy and hydration back.
After you've had like
after you've had the Imodium, right. But it's just to say that.
Yeah.
I think it's also being cognizant of like where you eat, what kind of cuisine you want to eat as well. If you've never had egg and pepper from the side of the street, maybe you're missing out, first of all, and maybe you might want to be careful where you first try one.
Yeah, fair.
Those kind of things.
Kebab. They can cook it well for you, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's fair. As far as like the restaurant scene and things like that,
you'll find many content on that on TikTok. We're not about to go down that
rabbit hole.
Yeah. There was even like this TikTok thing that came out because this guy who lives in America, he was just like, he's Ghanaian. And he was just like, I'm so mad because in Detty December, all people are talking about is where you're going to eat. And they're just talking about the fancy restaurants. And he was like, I'm so mad. What about the local spots, the chop bars, And I hear it because like there's so many great ones. So many.
Yeah, for sure. You do still need to be like, go to those places on someone's recommendation. Or if you are feeling brave. And again, for me, this is honestly just about people's health because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, go to this shop, I go to this shop, and then you might come down with something. It's just like build your immunity. Like, but if you're moving back,
that, like I went to, oh my gosh, so in December I was so sick, like so sick. I had stomach something.
I feel like we were all sick in December. I think COVID was brought.
No,
back.
It wasn't the COVID thing. It was a stomach thing. I thought
shit.
Like my mom even like got her friend who was like, come to the hospital because it was like a stomach thing. Like I couldn't keep any food down. Oof. And it being from a restaurant that like I go to frequently, and it's actually in Laboni, and we've been to that place before. The place we go get the shawarma. Yeah, okay, think about it. But
in Laboni.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they gave me like food poisoning or whatever bug they gave me.
Girl, we've seen a cockroach there. Remember?
We have seen a cockroach there.
We won't brown you, but
I'm still surprised.
Are you?
No. But yeah, so I think even the places where people may recommend, go at your own peril, at your own
your
risk.
own peril.
But I think we're going to end it there for this segment. And move on to our next little thing, which is we love to play games. We're just some fun girls who love to play games and live life. And today our game is called Ready or Not.
Here I come.
You can hide. It's not.
I'm gonna
called
find you and make you. What is it? Want me? Want me?
That's it's actually quite scary.
Oh.
If you think about it, she said.
Not if you're a toxic bitch like me.
Okay, fair. So in this game, we normally in our live shows do like a red flag, green flag, right? So we're going to talk about, are you ready or not to move back, right? So we're going to be saying a couple of statements from me and Tenika, and we're going to say, if you've thought about this, you're ready or not. PSA, this is just a fun game. If we say you're not ready and you are ready, like, come through or don't come through. That's your opinion and that's what you want to do.
We listen and we
don't
sometimes judge.
So do you have the first one? Do you want one or should I go?
Yeah, I want one. Like,
I should tell you one?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready or not? If you are mentally unstable.
You are not ready.
You are not ready.
You are not ready. You are not ready. You are not. Oh my God. Mentally unstable.
Mentally unstable. Can you regulate? Okay, let me change it up. Are you good at regulating your emotions?
I don't think anyone mentally unstable is watching this podcast.
I'm also mentally unstable, so I shouldn't be here. Are you good at regulating your emotions?
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you're not. Actually, I do think you should come.
It's a good lesson.
It's a great lesson.
It's a fast track lesson.
You learn fast.
Very fast. And painfully, but you will learn.
And painfully. But you know what? What doesn't kill you makes you
stronger.
Girl.
I can't sing, man. I can't sing. I don't know why you put me on the spot like that.
I don't want to rap. I'm sorry. Annabelle's face cracked me.
she was like the key is off by.
I just saw her to the side of my eye. She's so good. Okay. Are you ready or not if you don't have a savings account?
Come at your own peril. I think depending, if you don't have a savings account, but maybe you have somewhere to live, and maybe someone can borrow you their car or like, I don't know. But if your fundamentals are sorted, come. Yeah. And like figure it out maybe. Yeah. But it won't be an easy journey. Yeah. I think. So at your own peril like as much resilience or pain you're allowed, you want, or you're equipped. She's licking me down.
She always licks me.
The amount of pain you're equipped to take.
To handle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready or not if you don't know anyone here? Like if you're going to be on your lonesome.
It depends. I would say you are ready, because I think it is a really interesting experience to move somewhere that you don't know anybody, because you can almost find yourself again. Yeah. But it would go in tandem with like the mental stability, because if you're not someone, if you're not someone who can regulate their emotions or like, you know how to be by yourself, you probably will struggle a bit. Ghanaians are friendly for sure. But then, to your point, like you might be making some fast friends and then you end up in debt or something. Like you end up in a shady situation. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to know the lay of the land at the very least, and then you can start to make friends. So I'd say you're ready, but please, at your peril.
Yeah, everything is at your peril.
We
take no responsibility.
The Sankasa Podcast does not take any responsibility for cars left unparked. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, give me a last one and then we can wrap things up.
Okay. Are you ready or not? if you don't understand the social, political, and economic landscape of the country into which you are entering into and are not cognizant of your...
Do you want one word, or is this an essay answer?
To give you a thesis.
For 50 marks.
For 50 marks. Are you ready or not? No. Are you ready or not if you already got pissed off at the airport?
Oh, that's valid. That's so valid. Come through. In fact, you now have the vim to survive in this country. Experience. Come. You are ready. You are very ready.
Because to be fair, if you're going to be pissed off somewhere, the airport is a place where you're more than likely to
that
get
is your
off.
first test. It's like Squid Games. It's like the what's it called? Red light, green light. That is the first encounter. If someone is charging you, they're saying 400 cedis to drop you to Osu, and you cuss them out, fair. Cuss them out. Be like Uncle Jai, and you go and order the Uber by Burger King because you dragged your bag. Actually, no, that's not fair. Give him the 400 cedis, but still.
I was even thinking about like baggage claim.
Oh yeah,
baggage
they're like,
claim,
have you
so
got anything
funny
for me? What do they say? Where's my Christmas present?
No, it just takes
Meanwhile,
ages.
It's March. And they're saying, where is my Christmas present? I'm like, babe, you mean Easter? But anyway, I think you're ready. If you cuss someone at the airport.
If you cuss someone out, I think you're ready.
I think you are
figured
ready.
It out.
So that's it. Are you ready or not? Tell us your answers. We're going to post some more ready or not in our socials, Sankasa Podcast. But let us know if you are ready
or not.
Mm-hmm. That's us for today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Mm-hmm. Engage with us on socials. Let us know what you think. Shout out to our team at GCR. We couldn't have done any of this without them. Real goats. Anything to say, girly?
Yeah. Follow us. Engage with us on Sankasa Podcast on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I believe it's the same thing on TikTok. Yeah. And I believe it's the same thing on YouTube. I'm not sure. And then also engage with the GCR channels. The Gold Coast Report, I believe, is what it is on all socials. Vids will be up on YouTube. So, go do your research. Go figure us out. And also, thank you so much to Miss Fika. I lift this bottle at my peril. Miss Fika. For the yummy, we were yapping, so we couldn't really get into this, but this is really delicious, and y'all should go try it out. One of the best bubble tea places, I think one of the first bubble tea places I ever went to in Ghana, to be honest, and they throw it down. So yeah, thank you, Fika.
So much.
Thank you, Fika.
Enjoy your day.
Yes.